Alright, trying to figure out if this is working. I'm pretty sure it is. We will get a lot better at this, I promise. So, what we're going to do is instead of just focusing on anger management and anger and all that sort of stuff, we're going to actually focus on depression. Um, because yeah, 21 men every day take their lives because of depression, and I for one want to try and do whatever I can to stop those numbers. I mean, I've been battling depression pretty badly for the last couple of years, really, since my injury. Um, and one of the biggest reasons I feel like I've done it alone is because I don't feel like there's been anywhere to go with my depression and with my anger or anything like that without being judged. So I figured if I can't find one, I'll make it. That's why I'm doing the anger management counselling courses, getting my diploma in anger management and couples counselling. Um, wasn't until I started going anger management that I realised that depression was probably the biggest cause to my anger. Not being able to deal with it, not going somewhere to talk about it, not doing anything about it, just sort of really didn't really do anything. So I've tried to change that stigma in myself. Sorry for the clicking. Um, and I want to try and change that stigma for other people as well. I don't want people to think that it's weak to need help. I don't want people to think that it's a bad thing to ask for help, because it's not. It's important that you do it, especially as a man. It's tough to not tough to not ask for help and tough it out yourself. It's weak because you're not giving into basic need, which is human connection and talking to someone, bottling it up and letting it, you know, explode in an unhealthy rage is what I used to do. And, we'll see how far that's gone. That's gotten me. We've lost our missus, lost contact with my kids. Basically just ended up a loner. I got no friends over this way. So it's, yeah, it hasn't really been a prosperous way to live. Um, so yeah, basically we just need to learn that it's okay to talk about it, learn that it's okay to talk to each other about it. It's not weak. Got to get it out of our heads that it is weak. And if you feel like you can't talk to your partner about it because of weakness, you're probably not with the right person. Because if they're going to judge you over you being vulnerable, then it's not who you were meant to be with. Really, really. So basically, we're just going to be going over what I do to deal with my depression and what I've been doing to deal with my depression. I find idle hands are the devil's advocates, so you're the devil's tools. So you always got to try and keep yourself busy, and not alone with your own thoughts. And having ADD or ADHD, that becomes very difficult because even while you're busy, you're always thinking. But some of the things that I do to try and take my mind off, gaming's really helped me. Just being able to switch off and get into an environment where you don't have to think about your responsibilities, and you can just actually switch off and enjoy being yourself and take some time for yourself. Gaming's not everyone's thing. Some people might want to go for a walk or a bike ride. There's nothing wrong with any of those things. Going to the gym or working out in general, that has helped me massively. Massively. I've lost, I don't know, like 30 kilos of fat and put on about 20 kilos of muscle since going through this depression. So depression's definitely a very, very powerful performance enhancer if you let it. You just got to sort of embrace it and work through it. Going out, but going out can be difficult, especially if you don't have friends. That becomes really difficult, trying to establish a social life. And at 30 something especially, that becomes even more difficult, because you start questioning yourself as to why you don't have friends. And then you're like, well, if I'm thinking that, maybe the people I'm about to go talk to are thinking that. And then you just get yourself into a big loophole of depression and self-doubt, and just got to try and get out of that. Go to speed dating, anything like that, they're always good. City Swoon's one that I've gone to, and it's $60 a head, and you go out, you'll meet 5-6 girls for the night and just get out and be social, which is always good. Cooking is another really good one. Just don't go overboard, because food can be a crutch, and if you lean into it too much, you can end up chucking on weight, and then you'll end up not good weight either, and you'll end up depressed again, and it's just a big vicious cycle. So cooking's good. Cook for other people. Don't eat everything. Don't eat everything. Work's a really good one. I'm of two minds, because I love my job. I just dislike my workplace, because I get worked twice as hard as everyone else. I get paid the same amount of money, and it grows tiresome sometimes. I'm not going to lie. So been contemplating possibly changing where I work, maybe. I don't know. I like what I do. I just don't like who I do it for. I even like where I do it. It's a grouse place to work. It's just, grouse area to work in, just not for the person that I'm working for, which kind of sucks. So that's a few of the things for distractions. This probably isn't going to be as long as the last one, because I don't have a lot of talking points, and I don't know, I'm sort of struggling to get everything up, get the courage behind starting this podcast and talking properly about it. As you noticed, I didn't do it last week because I just was not feeling it, and that's something I've got to get past. I've got to start pushing myself to do things even though I'm not feeling it. Because I've got a really bad habit of going, alright, well, this is my time after work, and I don't want to fucking do anything. I just want to relax, and that's not healthy. It's what sort of fucked everything over with me and freedom, because I just started acting like my job was more important than anything else that was going on, and that just massively backfired. So the best thing you can do if you're starting to feel like you're stagnating or something as well is to change things up. Can be as simple as adding something or multiple of these things that you've got to your routine. Now, your routine is your big thing. Really, 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 really important. It helps you get into the habit of doing things even though you don't want to do them, which Rich coming from me complaining that I didn't want to do the podcast and I didn't do it. But again, part of developing a routine, you're not going to get it right the first time. And it's not going to be an easy transition, especially when you're used to just doing your own thing. I think developing a routine is really, really important. Really important, because it gives you, if you find yourself sitting down and stagnating, turn that time into a routine. If you work 9 till 5, you know that 9 till 5 is taken up from your work, but what do you do from the time you wake up? You say you wake up, I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and I leave for work at 8. So in those 4 hours, I could sit around and be depressed and feel sorry for myself, or I can make the most of my time, and I choose to make the most of my time. I take all 3 dogs out for a walk, one after the other. That takes about hour and a half sometimes, depending on how far we walk. Then I'll come home and I'll work out for an hour and a half. There's 3 hours, and then I will relax sometimes. The hour before work is my relax time. I make sure that I relax during that time to make sure I got a clear head for the drive to work, because I've noticed if I do too many things right before leaving, I end up flustered and I end up taking it out on my drive, which, I don't do anything psychotic, but I just sit in my car and yell at people for going too slow and fucking. It's just not healthy for me. My blood pressure's high as fuck, and I'm going to end up having a heart attack in the next 5 years. And because I'm single, no one's going to be around to find me, so I'll probably just fucking die. So we want to try and avoid that. So yeah, the best thing you can do is just get a routine going. Once I get back from work, I'll sit down for maybe half an hour to an hour, just really relax, make sure that I've just de-stressed from the whole day. Then I'll go cook. I'll make sure that I make dinner. I'll make sure that I do the dishes every single night and don't leave them in the sink. I mean, for most of you, that's probably a normal thing. For me, that was not. It was, alright, I'll do this at the end of the week on a fucking Saturday or Sunday. And by the end of the week, I'm just eating out of the bloody things that I cook in. So, not worth doing. Like, you just got to stay positive, keep moving, and just try and make the best out of every situation you can. It's definitely a lot easier said than done. And there's always going to be different environmental factors that are going to make that easier or harder to do. Like I'm struggling at the moment because I'd like to have some time with my kids. But I'm just being denied it. I'm not being given a reason, which isn't helping with my depression at all. Or my anger. I like to think I'm doing a pretty good job of keeping my shit together, considering the fact that I'm not getting any answers. But that's a minor victory. For me, it's a big victory, but for most, it's just a minor victory. Not getting angry when things don't go your way. Okay, toddler, grow the fuck up. And I didn't grow up properly because so many things happened and just weren't addressed. My mum was going through her breakup and she was too important trying to find a new relationship to worry about developing a decent one with me. And then I never got any counselling for when my old man passed away, which I've just been angry at the world ever since that happened because I threw away a sporting career. Then I got kicked out of home and I was always like, I'm sure if Dad was alive, he would have taken me, and he probably wouldn't have. I was a fuckwit. I needed half of what happened to me to happen to make me snap out of who I was, and that's the worst thing. It's the worst thing about me. Like, I don't change until something makes me change. And in this case, it was freedom leaving and probably definitely not coming back, which sucks because I'm finally in the position where I need to be the best version of me for her, the version that she deserved the whole time, not just for the first year or so until the first crisis happened in our relationship. Wouldn't have even been a year. We had it pretty rough from the get-go, but that's always my excuse. Just, we had it rough, so instead of being a little bitch, maybe I just need to have some adversity and learn to overcome adversity. Fucking stuttering like an absolute moron. I haven't checked the emails, I'm not going to lie. Probably should have done that before I jumped on, and I'm not going to check them now because I need to check them next week before I do this. I think I've gone over everything that I wanted to go over because I didn't have that much fucking talk about this week. But yeah, just I think the most important thing is no matter what's going on in your life, remember that you are important and you are good enough. And no matter who's told you that you're not, and no matter how you're feeling about not being important, you're wrong. You are important, you do matter, and you just got to keep getting through. You just got to keep pushing, and my inbox is always open, my email is always there, so if you ever need to talk about anything, feel free to hit me up. Eventually I'll be starting a Discord and you guys will be able to reach out to me through there, but just remember, you are worth it, and you can do anything you put your mind to. You just got to Just got to bust it out. Might not happen the first time you try it, might not happen the 10th time you try it, but you keep on keeping on and it'll happen. So, again, very short podcast today. Very fucking short. I'm potentially going to get someone else to do this with me, because it's always better to have someone to bounce shit off and sort of have a conversation with someone as opposed to trying to talk to yourself and getting in your own head that you sound like a fucking moron. So yeah, I guess that's the podcast for today. So I am sorry that it was so incredibly short. I will do better for next week, and I will make sure I'm writing down things as they happen. I'm stagnating at the moment. I need to get out and do some things and try and live an interesting life, because at the moment I'm not doing a lot. I wake up, I go to work, I come home, I sleep, and I stick to my routine. So I need to change that up a little bit. Need to start dating or something like that. Go out to more of those City Swoon events or something. But at the moment, I'm just rambling. This has been super fucking short. Barely 20 minutes. So I do apologise for that. But I hope you guys have a really good week, and I'll talk to you guys next Thursday. Look after yourselves. If you want to find me, I do stream on Twitch every weekend under Revive Reloaded. I need to change my YouTube name to something that's a little less satanic, so people don't look at me like, oh, I'm not going to listen to this dickhead's advice, he's a Satanist, because it's definitely not the case. I'll probably even create a whole new channel just for the podcasts and download them and re-upload them there. But anyway, I'm rambling. I hope you guys have a good one. Look after yourselves. Remember, even if people aren't nice to you, be nice back to them. Kill them with kindness. Just try and do something different this week. If you haven't cooked something before, go down to the shops, get the ingredients and give it a fucking try. Worst case scenario, you're going to end up having takeaway for dinner that night. Alright, don't spend the last of your money on it so you can't afford takeaway. Make sure that you save enough for like Macca's or something if you do fuck up. But I'm sure you won't. I'm sure you'll be able to smash it out and you'll be proud of what you've done. And that's what life's about, the little victories. Alright guys, look after yourselves, have a good one, and I will talk to you next time. Peace!